have our thermal cam out. We have a FLIR camera here. Wanted to show you the hot spots. So obviously our CPU, GPU under the keyboard. Trackpad's nice and cool. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the MSI Creator Z16 Professional Laptop. I did receive this product to review, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own, and the brand won't see the video until you see the video. If you're interested in this laptop, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's the retail box and packaging with just a couple of model specs and SKUs on the side. Everything else is very generic with the MSI logo. So let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. This video is sponsored by Software Keep, shop software products ranging from one user to enterprise licenses. Their software includes Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365, Windows 10 and 11, along with antivirus for PC and Mac users. For my viewers, they are offering an additional 20% off site-wide using code DD20, so be sure to enter code DD20 at checkout today. So inside the box, revealed two more boxes. The first box has our power supply and adapter. We'll look at that in a minute. The second box has the laptop itself. Got our MSI logo on it, branding on the sides, content creation on both sides right there. This is a laptop for content creators. On the back side, we have a sticker with our product info. Again, this is the Creator Z16. This is the A11UET version, and we have all of our specs. 32 gigs of RAM, DDR4, 2 terabyte SSD. We have our NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 for our GPU, and we have the Intel Core i9-11900H. That CPU has 8 cores, 16 threads, max frequency of 4.9 gigahertz. So we have a really powerful system in this machine, as you would expect for content creation and content creators. Now let's go ahead, let's open this up and look at the laptop. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature featuring their customer service and contact card, followed by warranty information. This laptop does come with a 12-month warranty, F3 hotkey, recovery info, and a quick start guide in multiple languages, walking you through key tips and tricks to get everything set up. Really nice and helpful to have that for quick access. Next, we have our power adapter and power supply right here. You can see that in more detail. Fairly large, but we need a lot of power for the specs that we have on this laptop. And lastly, we have the laptop itself. Let's go ahead, let's look at it up close. This laptop is gorgeous. We have our lunar gray color with our MSI logo and branding on the top. The front side right here, I love the fit and finish. We have a slight indent so we can easily open up the laptop. Here it is from the right side. We have a micro SD card slot, Thunderbolt 4 port, USB 3.2, Gen 2 Type A, and some venting. Here it is from the back side. You can see our hinge and our vents. Here it is from the left side of the laptop. We have our power port right there. Additional venting, USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A, Thunderbolt 4, and our audio combo jack. Here's the very bottom of the laptop. We have our nice 4 rubber feet, a lot of venting and grills. We have our Microsoft sticker, our product SKU with QR code, additional MSI information as well. Now let's have some fun. Let's open up this laptop for the first time. Oh boy. Ooh, look at that. Nice little microfiber cloth and protector with the MSI logo on it. Look at that keyboard. I like what I'm seeing here. Wow, that display looks so nice too. We haven't even powered it on. This is a True Pixel touch display with a Delta E value less than 2. Look at this, we got our lovely stickers. This is powered by NVIDIA GeForce RTX. We got an RTX 3060 and our Intel Core i9, which is amazing. Nice keyboard layout here. 10 keyless in case you're wondering. Got a little fingerprint sensor, nice trackpad. Clicky mouse as well, love that. Now let's go ahead and power it on. So we have our laptop plugged in, powered on. Windows 10 setup was simple. Now we're at our main lock screen. Let's try out the built-in fingerprint sensor. You'll get a feel for how fast and responsive it is. Look at this beautiful display and MSI background. While we have our tiles up here, you can see some of the included programs that are downloaded for us. So you may need to remove some of these apps like Disney Plus if you don't want it. Got an Office trial, LinkedIn, There's Norton security. I'd recommend getting rid of that personally, just so it's not taking up any additional system resources. Now, obviously, if you're a Norton customer or you want to sign up for their service, then you're going to want to keep it. Skype, I'd probably nix that myself too. If you're a Skype user, that's there. Spotify. So we do have some quote-unquote bloatware, but really it's pretty tame if you ask me. I do wish it was just straight up Windows and nothing else. That's not necessary. While we're looking at the PC before we download anything ourselves, I thought I'd show you the included storage. So 1.84 terabytes, our total size of our 2 terabyte drive, and we have 1.76 terabytes of usable space right out of the box. The only thing we've done is updated all of our Windows updates. That's it. So you can get an idea what you're going to have usable storage, 1.76 terabytes. Since we're talking about storage, I thought we'd go ahead and benchmark the built-in SSD. First up, using Crystal Disk Mark, we got a read score of 6,562 megabytes per second and a write score of 4,934 megabytes per second. Using AS SSD, we see similar results, but at a lower score as expected with this benchmarking tool. We got a read score of 5,444 megabytes per second and a write score of 3,367 megabytes per second. It's good to see this laptop using the latest and greatest PCIe 4.0. They didn't skimp on our storage and give us a PCIe 3.0 drive. And in fact, this is a Samsung drive as well. We can see that without even tearing down the laptop, which is nice. So if you want to get fast copy and paste speeds, file transferring, exporting, rendering to this drive on the laptop, you will appreciate having these really fast speeds. Browsing the web's really enjoyable with this laptop. We got the YouTube trending page pulled up right here. Just wanted to show you what it's like to surf the web here. Look at all different thumbnails that are loading, the titles, the font, the text, everything's clear and crisp. We're gonna move it really fast till we got that 120 hertz refresh rate. Next up, we got The Verge, a popular tech blog. Same thing, all the different images, videos, ads, fonts, titles, text, that sort of thing. Let's just go ahead, let's just grab one, click on it. Clear, crisp, gorgeous display. Better than 1440p, which is nice. And then lastly, if you want to do some shopping online, we got Amazon pulled up right here. Everything looks really nice. Very enjoyable experience browsing and surfing the web. This laptop does have a built-in webcam. We're currently looking at it right now. We have a couple different setting options to go over. First one's our photo or video toggle. We can choose between the two. Down at the bottom, we can view our past photos and videos there. Up in the top right-hand corner, we have our photo quality. So 0.9 megapixels, 1280 by 720, our max quality. Same can be said for our video, 720p at 30 FPS. Flicker reduction, digital video stabilization. That's a quick look at the settings. Then up here, we have a couple more options. So we can adjust our brightness. If we're doing our video, if we're taking a photo, we can adjust the brightness as well as set a timer. And we can turn HDR on or off. So now we have it on, off. So it's back on. Here we go. Didn't even notice anything different with the auto HDR on setting right there. But now let's go ahead, let's snap a quick photo. And another one. And let's do it again with HDR. So here we go. Snapped. Snapped. Now let's go ahead, let's get it in video mode and take a sample video. Here's your sample webcam video. Keep in mind, we have a lot of really bright studio lights on here. So just keep that in mind for the image quality that you're seeing here. It's going to vary differently in your own setup and space. We also have some really bright lights behind us as well, but you can get a feel for the movement, motion, the quality of this camera if you're really close to it, the details that it's going to preserve, or further away. And you're listening to the raw mic audio right now to get a feel for the audio quality
and mic quality out of this laptop.
The MSI Creator Z16 features a backlit keyboard, so just press the F8 button and we have multiple options we can go over to see the beautiful RGB backlighting. Let's go ahead, let's turn off the studio lights and look at this in more detail. Here's a look at it with the lights off. If we keep pressing the F8 key, I believe it's just changing the brightness. The transition itself doesn't change, nothing else looks any different. I believe it's just getting dimmer and dimmer, and then we can turn it off. You can see it up close right here. It's very vivid and bright. I love the RGB color. You can see that there. Looks better in person than what you're going to be able to see on the camera here, but check that out. Really nice RGB. We'll turn it back to max brightness. Every key's illuminated. Looks really nice. I do wish we had another key or the same key would allow us to change colors and keep it as a stationary color. That would be nice if we had that option for this laptop, but it's great that we have a backlit and RGB keyboard. Now we're going to test out the built-in speaker quality on our laptop. We're going to be streaming a couple of seconds of the song Claim Your Victory by Music Chef, which is home to stream safe music for content creators. It's free and DMCA safe. Let's go ahead, let's give it a listen. Oh yeah. Sounds really good. So good. Try to hold it up here. Get a feel for that sound quality on the built-in speakers. That's way more vibrant and full than I thought it would be, especially for laptop speakers. Obviously, to each their own, but worst case, if you're in a pinch, you'll be happy with the sound quality coming out of this laptop. They're definitely some of the best sounding speakers I've heard in a laptop. Let's take a closer look at the display. So within Windows, we're under our advanced display settings. Currently, we're getting our 2560 by 1600 resolution, so that's greater than your 2560 by 1440. We're at 120 Hertz for our refresh rate, 8-bit depth, and we have a couple refresh rate options. We could also go to 60 Hertz if we wanted for this display. You can see the display in action right here at 120 Hertz with multiple FPS values. So at the bottom, we have 30 FPS with our UFO test. You can see there's a lot of sputtering, staggering, things like that. Then we doubled the FPS value to 60, and the Alien looks a lot smoother, but when we double it again to 120, it looks super smooth, especially in light and compared to 60 and 30 FPS. This just shows you the importance of being able to pack a higher FPS value to match or even exceed your refresh rate. This really makes the most difference when you're playing games. If you wanted to use this laptop for gaming and crank out some 120 FPS games at 120 Hertz, you can see the nice movement and motion results that you're going to get for the games that you're playing. The display on the Z16 offers 100% DCI P3 and a Delta E less than 2. We even have the MSI True Color menu pulled up where we can cycle through the different color options. So watch and pay attention to how each profile changes the video as we cycle through them. Different modes depending on maybe the content you're consuming if you want to customize it yourself, what sort of design work you're doing, what content you're creating. We also have all these advanced options we can change depending on the mode that we're in. If you know you're going to be looking at the display for a long time, you might want to turn the anti-blue light mode on. It's nice that we have customization options even within all the different modes that are available. You don't just have to use custom mode. You can tweak the other modes. And then we have additional tools you can view as well, even some calibration support, extra options, and a nice help section right there, but a really, really nice display. We're not just going to take them at their word for it though. We went ahead, we conducted our own display test using DisplayCal, and here are the results that we got. For sRGB coverage, we got 99.9%. For sRGB volume, we got 159.3%. For Adobe RGB coverage, we got 88.3%. 0.6%. And for Adobe RGB volume, we got 109.7%. For DCI P3 coverage, we got 99%, so very close to their 100% claim for DCI P3. So that's definitely acceptable to us. We're not using the same professional tools and equipment that MSI and the panel manufacturer have available to them. And for our DCI P3 volume coverage, we got 112.8%. In regards to the Delta E claim, you can see on our reporting right here, they advertise less than 2. And good news is, using all the different Delta E values, doesn't matter which equation we're using, they all come in under the value of 2. So I'm not sure which test was conducted for the panel and the certification they have with their True Pixel sticker, but our results right here, all of them under that value of 2. And unless you're a trained professional, I believe under 3 or 2, you won't really be able to notice any differences or discrepancies without being, like I said, trained. But the good news is very accurate color on this panel. So we're up close listening in to the fan noise with our mobile device. It's definitely noticeable and loud in my opinion. But this is your real world test to hear how it sounds. And again, that's going to be under your heavy and full load, really stressing out the laptop. Now for fun, we have our thermal cam out. We have a FLIR camera here. Wanted to show you the hot spots. So obviously our CPU, GPU under the keyboard. Trackpad's nice and cool. Our exhaust vents are warming up the surface here on both sides. Get some temperature values there. Around 40 degrees Celsius. It's definitely warm and hot to the touch, in my opinion, but obviously I can still keep my hand on there, but you will notice that it's warm. And now I've flipped it up so we can zap the back here. Obviously the desktop surface is nice and warm where it was resting. We'll probably see some better temps now that it can really breathe and vent. There's just not much room for it to exhaust anything out the bottom here. It's just not propped up very high. Not that you want it to, but from thermal perspective you would, right? The more airflow you can have underneath, the better. Our fans are going to be right here on both sides. I thought that was really interesting. And then our CPU, GPU, our cooling system right in there. Just for fun, we'll look at it from the side where it's exhausting out the heat. We can turn it to the other side as well right there. Pretty cool. It just so happens at the time of this review, I have two MSI laptops here, both with similar specs, so I thought we'd go ahead and benchmark them against each other. This is really helpful, especially if you're trying to mix and match which GPU you want, which CPU you want. So first up right here, we have the MSI Creator 17. This has the Intel 11800H and the NVIDIA RTX 3070. Whereas to my right, we have the MSI Creator Z16. This has the Intel 11900H and the NVIDIA RTX 3060. So slightly more powerful CPU, but not as powerful GPU. Slightly more powerful GPU, but not as powerful CPU. Let's go ahead and look at the results. Now we can look at benchmarking charts all day, but I wanted to actually show you the gaming footage here. Look at how good Forza 5 looks. Pay attention to the lighting on the cars, the reflections, the background sky. The environment's going to change in a minute. We'll get some more daylight here. But this is what gaming is going to look like on this laptop. It's beautiful. Having that high refresh rate's fantastic. Our RTX 3060, while just a mid-range GPU, is going to make it bearable to be able to play some games on this laptop. Very responsive. That display just really makes this a great experience in my opinion. Now, maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't, but the fan is really loud right now. It's spun up. But this is Forza 5 with its beautiful gameplay footage. As you can see, there's a lot to enjoy when you're using this MSI Creator Z16 laptop. I didn't even mention in the review that I really like the fit and finish of this laptop. It definitely has a premium feel. Now, with all that being said, there are things I want to see improved in the future. The first one is I feel like at this price point, we should be getting an RTX 3070 at a minimum. That would make this laptop perform even better, and I feel like really utilize the great CPU that we have in here. That would pair nicer, in my opinion, than the RTX 3060. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to what sort of applications are you running and what's your primary use and purpose for this laptop. Other than that, a couple of simple changes and tweaks. I'd like to see a much better webcam installed. Give us an improved image sensor, and at a minimum, 1080p 60 FPS. That'll really help out any creators that want to use this for streaming on the go. You want to have an all-in-one solution without bringing any dongles or extra cameras or accessories. That would make this a better laptop, and I like to think a pretty easy fix. I mentioned dongles. For me personally, call me old school, I still like to have the Ethernet port. Even if that means the laptop's thicker, I personally don't care. So I'd like to see an Ethernet port here so I don't have to use a Thunderbolt 4 dongle, but they do give us everything we need, so to speak, that you could still add that back if you wanted. Other than that, the biggest thing for me that I noticed while using this laptop is it's loud. When it's under a heavy load, you will notice the fans running, and it could be obnoxious to you when you're using it. So, not really sure what can be done besides maybe revamping some passive cooling and obviously active cooling, getting quieter fans, lower RPMs, all that good stuff. But when you think about this laptop and compare it to Apple's latest MacBooks, it's amazing how much quieter those units run than a laptop like this.